From the outside, Rachel and Kevin's marriage looked like something people quietly admired. 10 years together, a comfortable home, shared routines, inside jokes, and the kind of familiarity that comes from building a life side by side. Friends often said they were lucky. Family called them stable. And for a long time, Rachel believed it too. Asterisk, their 10th anniversary was simple and elegant. Dinner at a restaurant they loved, candles flickering between them, the soft murmur of other conversations blending into the background. Kevin reached across the table and held her hand, his smile warm and familiar. Rachel smiled back, but something inside her felt strangely distant, as if she were watching herself from the outside. Asterisk that night, lying beside him in the quiet darkness of their bedroom. She stared at the ceiling long after Kevin's breathing slowed into sleep. Her chest felt tight, not with sadness exactly, but with an ache she couldn't name. It wasn't that she didn't love him. She did, deeply, yet there was a restlessness stirring beneath that love, something unspoken that had been growing for months, maybe longer. Asterisk in the days that followed, Rachel found herself distracted. She moved through her routines on autopilot, answering emails, folding laundry, preparing meals, all while her thoughts drifted elsewhere. She felt like a question without an answer, like a sentence that trailed off before the final word. Asterisk Kevin noticed the change before she did. He noticed the way she laughed a second too late, the way her eyes seemed to search for something even when she was sitting right beside him. One evening, as they washed dishes together in comfortable silence, he finally spoke. Asterisk, "You've been quiet lately," he said gently. "Is everything okay?" Asterisk Rachel paused, her hand submerged in warm water. The honest answer hovered on her lips, but fear held it back. "How do you explain something you don't understand yourself?" Asterisk, "I'm fine," she said finally, forcing a smile. "Just tired." Asterisk Kevin nodded, but the concern didn't leave his eyes. He didn't push. He never did. And somehow that made the silence heavier. Asterisk, as weeks passed, Rachel's internal struggle grew louder. She began journaling late at night, writing thoughts she would never dare say out loud. She wrote about longing, about the strange feeling of wanting more without knowing what more meant. She wrote about love that felt safe and steady, and the quiet fear that safety had slowly replaced passion. Asterisk, she wasn't tempted by another person. There was no secret affair, no stolen glances across crowded rooms. What unsettled her was more unsettling than that. It was the realization that part of her felt unseen by herself, that she had changed and no one, including Rachel, had fully noticed. Asterisk one afternoon, while cleaning out an old drawer, she found a photograph from her 20s. She was laughing in it, hair wild, eyes bright with possibility. Rachel sat on the floor holding the photo, tears welling unexpectedly. She didn't miss being young. She missed feeling fully alive. Asterisk that evening, she sat across from Kevin on the couch, the space between them filled with years of shared history. Her heart pounded as if she were about to step off a ledge. Asterisk, "There's something I need to tell you," she said quietly. Asterisk Kevin turned toward her fully, his attention steady and open. "Okay," he said. "I'm listening." Asterisk Rachel took a deep breath. The words came slowly at first, then faster, as if once the door opened, they refused to be contained. Asterisk, "I don't feel broken," she said. "And I don't feel unhappy with you. But I feel disconnected from myself, from parts of who I used to be. And it scares me." Asterisk Kevin didn't interrupt. His face remained calm, though his eyes revealed the effort it took to absorb her words. Asterisk, "I feel this hunger," she continued, voice trembling. "Not for someone else. For something inside me that I've ignored for too long. And I don't know what to do with it." Asterisk silence followed. Not the awkward kind, but the heavy kind. The kind that carries meaning. Asterisk Kevin leaned back slightly, exhaling slowly. Thank you for telling me, he said at last. That couldn't have been easy. Asterisk, she looked at him, surprised by the absence of anger or defensiveness. You're not upset. Asterisk, I am, he admitted honestly. But not because you spoke. I'm upset because you've been carrying this alone. Asterisk, they talked late into the night. Not arguing, not accusing, just talking. Kevin admitted that he too had felt moments of uncertainty over the years, times when he wondered if routine had dulled something essential between them. He had been afraid to say anything, afraid of opening a door that might not close again. Asterisk. What followed were weeks of emotional honesty unlike anything they had experienced before. They asked hard questions about intimacy, about desire, about whether love could evolve without breaking. They listened, even when it hurt. Asterisk, some conversations ended in tears. Others ended in quiet understanding. There were moments when Rachel wondered if she had said too much, if honesty would cost her the life she had built. But there were also moments of deep connection, moments when she felt closer to Kevin than she had in years. Asterisk, they began doing small things differently, walking together in the evenings without phones, sharing memories they had never spoken aloud, acknowledging that marriage wasn't a destination, but an ongoing negotiation between two evolving people. Asterisk, Rachel started therapy, not because Kevin asked her to, but because she wanted to understand herself better. She learned that longing doesn't always mean dissatisfaction, and that desire can be a signal for growth rather than escape. Asterisk, Kevin attended a session with her once, sitting beside her, listening as she spoke openly about her fears. He realized that loving someone sometimes means allowing them to change, even when that change is uncomfortable. Asterisk, their marriage didn't transform overnight. There were setbacks, days when old habits returned, when miscommunication resurfaced. But something fundamental had shifted. The secrets were no longer buried. The hunger was no longer ignored. Asterisk, one evening, months later, Rachel and Kevin sat on their porch watching the sun sink below the horizon. Rachel rested her head on his shoulder, feeling a sense of calm she hadn't known in a long time. I'm glad I told you, she said softly. Kevin smiled. Me too. Asterisk, this wasn't a story about perfection. It was a story about courage, about choosing truth over comfort, about understanding that desire doesn't have to destroy a marriage. Sometimes it can deepen it. Asterisk, Rachel learned that discovering new parts of herself didn't mean abandoning her life. It meant reclaiming it with intention. Kevin learned that love isn't about preserving an image, but about supporting a person through their evolution. Asterisk, and together, they learned that the most dangerous secrets aren't the ones we keep from others, they're the ones we keep from ourselves.